this might be a tough decision right now.
My team did absolutely
NFL games that were like, whoa.
I actually don't
Had
understand.
a lot of mixed feelings.
Welcome, Disgruntled. We have another guest here on the Legal Domains.
How much time we wasted? We wasted 35 seconds.
I'm going to fucking...
Do it. You won't. You never do anything that you actually say, making you a liar.
Caleb, the fans want to know, how have we been going about this podcast for 121 episodes straight? How do we do it? Would you like to answer that question by telling them how you do it? Or how we do it? Mainly you, though.
Money.
Really?
Yeah. We're making tens of cents.
Tens?
And honestly, it's just J. Cole.
I haven't seen any of it yet.
Yeah, you have. You seen $10 of it. Remember that first paycheck?
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, another $10 is coming your way.
Let's fucking go. I'm
Can I
gonna
give
run
you-
home with that paycheck. Be like, Mom, look.
Can I give you $20 in hopes that that's covers? Because I don't feel like doing the math.
I mean, you can give me as much as you want, man. Make it 40 if you want.
Can I just like give you $100 and say that covers everything?
Yeah. I think I like that contract better. You just pay me up front. And if it pops off, I suffer. But if it doesn't.
Well, I mean, it's like $100 made to this point in all the podcasts. So like I think I'm getting a paycheck soon. We can actually check this out in Google AdSense. Let's start off.
Why now?
Because we are on
The people are waiting. They want to know about the NFL and what is happening within the league.
What is happening in the 2022-2023 season?
Of the NFL, the National Football League.
Yes, I accidentally spilled beer on my... I'm getting $160 soon. From YouTube.
And I only get 10? That's bullshit.
I said 20. I'll do the math. I'll add up all the podcasts. But let's... Sorry, I spilled beer all over my computer. Okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready. So what happened in the week 15 slots of football?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
My computer is bright. You know what happened, Caleb? Something very peculiar happened.
I went 12-4 in predictions.
No, unfortunately, that's normal. What happened was a man named Mr. Irrelevant. That's his full name. His full government name given to him by Christ. He went out and beat a 7-6 team in his division as the starter. And now he's won 3 games straight.
3 games straight.
2 of which he was the starter.
2. 1 in which he mostly was a starter. Cause
Basically.
Yeah.
Well, not mostly was a starter, but he mostly played. So the crazy thing is overall that this dude has the league in shambles, and I think San Francisco has a very difficult call to make.
Yes.
That call being to Jimmy Garoppolo, being like, "You're gone."
Yeah, because I think the real question is I think Jimmy has kind of been on the like border of being cut, because like he was already like cut for like Trey Lance. I think the real question that they should be questioning is what are they going to do with their former first-round draft pick who tore his ACL this year? What are they going to do with him?
Barely played football in the past like 3 years. It's been very little outside of practice because of injury, because of COVID, because a lot of variables. And he's on the bench like my whole life, flashing before my eyes. My whole career just took a dip. Just like that. I was the surprise draft pick at number 3, I believe, with San Francisco.
Yeah.
That year. Yeah, I think it was after Zach Wilson. Everyone was like, wow, they made a big balls move, taking me at 3, trading up for me. Gotta make him proud. And then this dude at round pick, third overall, at round 7, last pick of the draft, comes in here, starts stealing the show. And everyone was making excuses for Trey Lance, like, oh, he's barely played football, like, you have to give him time. Brock Purdy immediately steps onto a football field and is like, yep, I know how to sling this shit. George Kittle, bloop. Go get 28 points in fantasy. I think it was 28 in the league I'm in. But Shout outs to George Kittle. He's the real MVP. I love that man. But actually, though, I think the Seahawks are kind of disappointing us as of late, and they need to step it up because right now their big comeback player of the year is being usurped by this potential rookie of the year. Hold on.
Ooh.
That'd be crazy. I don't think it will actually happen, but
Yeah.
his chances are skyrocketing. You can't tell me that the chance is 0. It's definitely a non-zero number.
It's definitely non-zero at this point in time. His stats, Brock, 678 yards total, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 100 rating is the most important key stat. And yeah, Geno Smith is not looking too good. Let me look up the Seahawks last few games because they have been tanking slowly and not like tanking, but they've been not playing so good or as well as they should be playing.
Their stock is falling.
Yes, and which was a almost lock in the playoff in that wild card seed, but they just lost to the 49ers. They lost back-to-back games, 49ers, Panthers. They lost 3 of the last 4 games.
4 of the last 5.
4 of the last 5 games. 4 of the last 5 games the Seahawks have lost.
The only one they won was against the Rams, and we all know how the Rams look. They look like the type of team that would just go out and lose to the Green Bay Packers in primetime with Baker Mayfield starting.
Yeah, I was just about to say, they look like the team that would start Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, they do look like that because they are. And the next game that happened on our schedule was the Browns versus the Ravens. That is because there's only 2 games on Saturday.
Well,
the one between the Browns and the Ravens, and then the Bills and the Dolphins. So the Browns and the Ravens went 13-3. It was very low scoring, very underwhelming game to start the day.
I think you missed the story.
Anyways, we can just
yeah. Titus is skipping over one of the most historic defensive halves and offensive halves in the entire history of the league.
Back to back. Wasn't concurrent. It was at first it looked very defensive domination, and then the exact opposite right after.
Yes, so the game that we're talking about is the 39-36 game in which the Minnesota Vikings had to come back 33 points in 2 quarters. 33 points in 2 quarters. Now, that is a lot of points if you don't know much about football. That is a lot of points to come back and have to do it in only 2 quarters. And what this first half looked like, it looked like it was going to be a shutout. It was going to be one of the best historic defensive performances of all time. You got a pick 6. You got a couple fumble recoveries. Maybe it was just one. You got a lot of sacks. You got
there was a blocked punt turned into a touchdown.
41 points in my fantasy league, which is a lot of points because we up the points for defense.
His league doesn't count. You should ignore it anytime he speaks of that league.
Yeah, well, that's
it's rigged. It's fake.
Yeah, and what Titus was so hot on last week was
I hot on?
Was Alec Pierce. And if anyone took that advice, in which I don't think it was possible because I did upload the podcast today.
Yeah, so no one did except you.
Except for me, in which he got me 0 points. And if I would have just played McKinnon, I would have been plus 34. But good thing that I didn't upload that on time, in which this podcast is going to be different. But that's besides the point. Would you like to speak on how this destruction happened, or this self-destruction happened?
Not really. Mainly because it's been talked about so much. Even with my perspective as a Colts fan, I don't even think like I can speak much more on it that would like give it any more detail than what everyone already knows. Like anyone who like pays attention even a little to sports knows about this, I think everyone has a slight idea of what went down. And here's the thing. I was not sad. I was happy because I wanted to lose. And I mean, I messaged you. It wasn't over. I was like, I even like tweeted as like, oh man, If only the Colts could just turn the ball over, but that would never happen. They would never just let up this deficit because I was trying to rig the universe. I was trying to, reverse psychology the universe so I would make it happen. And the funny thing was I truly don't think the defense played that bad in the second half. Because there was we still got some turnovers in the second half as well. Kirk Cousins was forcing shit. It was crazy. Obviously, there were big plays that led to the demise, but I think on a down by down basis, it was still pretty consistent. It was just one of the most impossible performances out of the Vikings offense. And like I said last week, it's you never know. You can never safely bet against the Vikings offense because we held Justin Jefferson to nearly nothing in the first half, and then all of a sudden 100 yards, 10-ish receptions. You just never know when it's going to happen, and you can never play it safe with them. I think it was mainly just bad coaching, and that to me is really what it comes down to. Jeff Saturday does not need to be an NFL coach, and we couldn't get anything done on the other side of the ball, being the offense. Jonathan Taylor is also out. He is now on IR. Rest in peace. That's my man's. He's going to come back next year very strong with Bryce Young, of course. And Alec Pierce will be one of the best number 2 receivers in the league next year. And I still think he could end the year very strong. What I did notice from the Minnesota Vikings was that they actually really stiffened up on defense, even in the first half. When the Colts went up 33-0, you want to know how many offensive points accounted for that? Just one touchdown. Because it was literally just Matt Ryan had one touchdown, and then there was the pick six, there was the block punt touchdown, and then 4 field goals.
4 total field goals in the first half? Well, I guess...
Yeah, and then five total if you count the one that happened in the second half. So that's how we got to 36.
That's insane.
So really, the offensive production, especially in the red zone, abysmal. Especially without Jonathan Taylor. Some of the other running backs were doing decent work, but it would have been a whole different story if Jonathan Taylor was healthy, and I stand by that.
Damn, he would have had a lot of points.
And this is the team that previously, as far as the Vikings are concerned, was not very good against the passing game. They had been letting up a lot of fantasy points to those who play against them. And that's why I was like, okay, Alec Pierce to the moon, because whereas Pittman is a down by down, I won't really say slot receiver, but yeah, he's an every down receiver basically. Alec Pierce is the guy that takes those deep shots and can really high point the ball and just make a really big play happen. And I felt that the Vikings were really bad against those type of receivers, and they did really well. I will say Patrick Peterson was the spark on that defense that really started to get the comeback going. Whereas I don't think Zadarius Smith or the other really good dude on that defensive line I don't think they were doing that great at first. But once Patrick Peterson really started to set the tempo, I think that's when they started to steamroll our offensive line, which has been abysmal all year. That was no surprise. So yeah, overall, what I'll say is something about 93. What do you have to say? What is this?
39 plus 54 is 93. That's how many points the Colts defense has let up in back-to-back games. And
that's right, baby.
The only reason why I bring that up is just because 30 points was the only thing going for the Colts, that they haven't let a team up or have passed 30 points. And they almost let up 40 points in back-to-back games. But that's besides the point. And I was just about to say that this really speaks on the Colts offense more than the Colts defense, because imagine if they scored all 4 of those all 4 of those field goals, instead of field goals they were touchdowns. That would have been 28 plus more points. Or I guess 28 minus 12. What's 28 minus 12?
You got this.
16 more points. That'll be 16 more points. And I think there's no way that the Vikings would be coming back from that. That's almost that's like a 50 burger in the first half. That would be
dude, I literally messaged you that. I was like, this could have easily been 56-0 if the offense was capable of anything. Yeah, we've been just that offense has been one of the least offensively productive teams and efficient teams all year. and they're never consistent. It's really bad. Yeah, when I was talking about Alec Pierce and how he could pop off, I was looking at the trend of like his targets. He was getting way more targets within the recent games, and I was like, okay, he's going up a defense that has been really bad against this, and he already did it. He already had really great production against a defense that is really good, the Cowboys. I thought he was like, honestly, I was expecting him to have the best rookie performance in the entire league. But it just goes to show you that the Colts are not consistent in anything. If you ever like see them perform well in one area in a previous game or even a previous drive, previous snap, they're not going to repeat that success because they have no consistency, and that comes down to coaching. We see the potential in the players because they're good players. Most of these guys are Pro Bowl players, as we had the most Pro Bowlers last year. They aren't coached into consistency. We don't have that, and that's the problem.
I agree. And the last thing a couple of last things I would say. One is Matt Ryan. He really can't catch a break, can he? With comebacks.
He's like a top 5 quarterback in making comebacks, but he'll never be remembered for that. People will always remember him for the 2 biggest chokes of all time.
Yeah, you thought 28-3 was bad? Try 33-0.
And the other thing is like I really sympathize with Matt Ryan because I don't think the Super Bowl was his fault. I think that was defense playing terrible.
Yeah.
As opposed to like this comeback, which was definitely on the offense. They couldn't do anything and just made it so hard for the defense because the defense just kept having to come back on the field. They were so tired. They had already done the most in the first half. They needed a break, but they couldn't catch one. We also had 2 of our Pro Bowlers out, by the way.
Yeah.
Defensive Pro Bowlers, I should say.
If those defensive Pro Bowlers would have been in, it would have been game locked and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, I think that because Shaquille Leonard is better in the last half of games. Like he has the stamina, and like he just he gets the energy by like getting closer to time. Like he makes the big plays in the big moments, not just like early on when you're fresh and ready, because he feeds off of that energy. So yeah, not having a guy like that is really difficult. But at the same time, I don't even know if he could have stopped this Vikings offense when on the other side of the ball the Colts offense was that bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes your defensive impact can be like peak JJ Watt, and you can't take the Texans to the playoffs, just from peak JJ Watt, because he didn't. It was really bad for most of his time there.
Yeah, Logan, my one high school friend Logan and I were talking about this a couple nights ago, where one defensive player isn't going to win you a Super Bowl, and we were talking about how I think it was like Bosa on the Chargers, Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about how he physically can't like take a team to the Super Bowl because he's on the like defense, and he can like make 1 or 2 like big plays that will help them like secure a win or make a clutch play to like help the offense out. But it's all up on the offense to actually score points and actually bounce back and actually capitalize on the defensive stops, because it's very rare for a defense to score, and you actually need to score points to win in this league.
Also, what I'll say is I think as far as defensive depth goes, I think the Colts have probably got one of the better, all well-rounded like defensive like teams. I think as far as like on the defensive side of the ball, Chris Ballard, our general manager, did a great job with that. For a while, it was like we were really concerned about like edge rush. We had like no edge rush. And yeah, that was like really difficult. But I think this year it's definitely stepped up, and he did find like good value players within the draft and free agency to get that job done. But yeah, again, like his failure to like make sure that the right people are on the offensive side of the ball, to look after these players that are like really good in Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, all those, that entire line is like capable. They just, for some reason, they're just not getting coached, or they just don't fit together well. Individually, they're great players, but when they work as a unit, it doesn't work anymore like it did 3 years ago. And I don't know why that is, because, I'm not in the locker room. I don't see what actually happens in the coaching or whatever. I don't know the dynamics But it's so fucked. that's where I'll leave it. I don't want to go on too much more of a tangent because it's all over TV. If you want to hear more about this, you're gonna find it. Like whereas in the past, you can't really find that much about the Colts. But this year, the Colts delivered. They put us in the national spotlight, just not in the good way. And we're going into our 4th consecutive nationally televised game.
Next week, or was that
next week?
Damn, what the fuck?
Because it was a loss to Steelers, a loss to the Cowboys, a bye week, and then a loss to the Vikings, all in the national window. And now we actually don't go to LA. The Chargers come to us.
Hell yeah. That means that the Colts are going to win. But yeah, that was the largest comeback in NFL history. The 34-0.
3-3.
33-0. That's all I gotta say about the Colts Vikings.
Previously, we had the largest comeback in NFL history. By the way, but now it doesn't matter. Rip Andrew Luck's whole legacy. Matt Ryan had to ruin it. Now it belongs to Kirk Cousins. It's like, come on.
How do you lose to Kirk Cousins in prime time?
It's Justin. Also not prime time. Nationally televised, but not
it's prime time.
It's not prime time.
It's prime time.
No one's going to the bar at 1 to watch that game.
I was.
You were at a bar?
No, but I started drinking at 2.
It's not the same.
We got the Baltimore Ravens losing to the worst team in NFL history, the Cleveland Browns, 13-3. I feel like every Baltimore Ravens game in the past 5 or 6 weeks has been the same vibe as a Broncos game. Just low scoring, boring. No one wants to watch it. You're not gonna go to a bar to watch the Ravens. The fucking worst nope, I'm not gonna say worst person. One of the worst persons ever to exist in the human race, Deshaun Watson.
Wow. What about him?
He beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
do you lose to that guy?
Well, as bad of a person he is, he still has the talent of a starting NFL quarterback. Unfortunately. I don't think he's been great. I don't even think in this game he was, but he's slowly getting better.
He was 64.3. He had a 64.3 completion percentage, which is slowly going up. First week was 54, then 61, then 64. He had 161 yards, a touchdown, and a 91.5 rating, and which also has been going up from 53 to 79 to 91. So I agree with that. He's been improving gradually.
Yeah, I think the defense has also balled out, which earlier in the season they were hit or miss, which has been a historically really great defense. I mean, a great memory is their win over the fucking Steelers, and that's kind of what I think about when I think of dominations from a defense, where the offenses then take some credit because you see the score of it all. And you think, automatically think offensive points. Offense has to be good. Baker Mayfield was not responsible for that team's success that year. Still a decent quarterback. We've seen it in the past couple of weeks. But, come on. Defenses win Super Bowls.
Yes.
Remember that, kids. And that's why Cowboys...
Just kidding. Are going to lose. Because their defense is garbage.
Anyways, let's talk about the Bills and how they got their revenge against the Dolphins. And Tua didn't go up to hug Josh Allen like Josh Allen did to Tua. And I find that very disrespectful.
Fuck Tua. We're Tua's number one hater.
Just kidding. I do like Tua.
No, fuck Tua.
I do not think he has been great recently. But I think when you look at his season overall and what he's been through, it's been a really great season for him. And I'm excited where that young, talented offense is headed with the young, talented coach, Mike McDaniels. And what I will say about the Bills is that they're still that team, I think when you need the defense to shut out a team, they do it. When you need the offense to shut out a team, most of the time. Josh Allen hasn't been the most consistent this year. But I think when you put those two together, it's better than what most teams have to say. Because I really don't think they have the same consistency. Yeah, I think the Bills' consistency as a team has been amazing. Even through Josh Allen's ups and downs this season, I think they still remain productive as an offense, even when he's playing at his worst. And I think that's important. I think their floor is still pretty high. Like, their floor is the Panthers' peak. Or like the Broncos peak, definitely.
Dallas Cowboys peak?
Yeah, their ceiling.
Yeah, their
No,
ceiling.
not at all, because after what they did to the Cowboys, which the Eagles, after what the Cowboys did to the Colts, which the Eagles couldn't reciprocate, we have to give Cowboys some credit.
No, I'm good. That was a fluke. It was a fluke game. It was one of those like one-off games that
It was in primetime though.
Primetime? So
You're telling me that primetime games are fluky? Because if they are, you're going to get a lot of those in the playoffs. And if you run into the Cowboys, you better be worried.
I'm not.
You better go running.
I'm not worried at all. But
At all?
at all, because why would I be worried about a team that can't even make it to us?
That's a bold prediction.
But it's the correct one.
We'll see. I don't think so. And also last week, you did not say that. So last week, you did say that there's going to be a playoff matchup. So you're switching up.
Yeah, but
And you know who else is switching up? Desmond Ridder. Because he's not looking good. I don't know.
I don't know why they ever went away from Marcus Mariota. Did he get
He's
hit?
injured.
Oh.
He's out for the year.
I don't know why they couldn't just place him in. I feel like it's ride or die.
No, but the good thing was that Tyler, their other rookie on the offense, had a great game. Tyler Algier.
Aguilu? What? Did I pronounce that correctly?
But on the other side of the ball, the Saints. What I'll say about the Saints, that I think doesn't get enough credit, is that as a team, I think they have the most chemistry.
Why do you say that?
Because I think a lot of them have been with each other for a long time,
Especially
and I think the coaching, other than obviously Sean Payton's now gone, has been there a long time. I think it's like a very tight group. They're very ride or die. And I like to see teams like that. Whereas Atlanta, there's like a lot of new faces, a lot of new shit is going on in there. And so the performances, they don't look as like pretty and fluid. Obviously the Saints are still only they're only 5-9, but still I think when they're winning, I think it looks pretty convincing. And even when they're losing, I'm like, okay, they really weren't like that far out. You know, I think they've had some really close losses, like a lot of really close losses. And I think this season could have easily been more so in the winning column, had just like a couple possessions gone the right way, or if they had all their players healthy. You know, I think they remind me a lot of the 49ers when they had a lot of injuries that one year after the Super Bowl. Not to say it's to the same degree with all the injuries, but I still think like that's what I'm seeing, like a very tight-knit group that just got unlucky.
Can you plug them into that one website where it does like the one possession things?
It's not a website, it's just a graphic.
Or the graphic.
A couple wins more. They would have had a couple wins more. But I still think like even in those other games that this doesn't account for, it was still close, even if it didn't come down to one possession. And also doesn't count for like the injuries and shit like that. I think next year they can be a winning team again. I think it doesn't take that many moves and the camera's off. I don't know how long it's been off, but
as long as the mic is on.
it's not. No. Just kidding. You got pranked. You didn't do it. You said you always do it. Hey.
Excuse me, I said I like to do it. I like when you do those noises. It really represents how I communicate to the outside world. But I think the Saints would be 7-7 because I don't think that's taken into account the previous.
Oh yeah,
one.
this was like a couple weeks ago. This was December 6th. So, I mean, sure. Let's look it up. Let's go through the Saints' schedule and say, I mean, there you go.
Yeah. So that would be.
There you go. Very close games.
Yes. 6 + 7 is 13.
I mean, they shut out the Raiders around the time where Josh Jacobs was really getting going. Yes. I will say.
Yes. What did he do in that performance? They shut out Josh Jacobs.
They kept him to only 43 on 10 carries. Why was he only 10 carries? Maybe he got injured, honestly.
Devontae Adams had one reception for -1 yard.
See, like, they have the pieces, and I think...
They're missing a QB.
They're missing a coach. Sean Payton. Or maybe their coach is good. It is his first season. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for now. 30-26 against the Bengals. That's pretty close. I mean, against the Cardinals, they should have won the game. I stand by that. I do not think the Cardinals look good in that primetime win. I think the Cardinals got very lucky.
With those 2 pick sixes?
The 2 pick sixes definitely changed everything because the defense on the Saints side was balling, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
28-25 to the Vikings. Very close. Yeah, I think better than what we give them credit for. But also, like, I think we don't like to give them a lot of credit because their stars have been very underwhelming,
like
I will
Alvin.
say. I don't think they have been balling out. I think as a team and their like depth, pretty good. But I think maybe they just need some new stars. Maybe they need to make some trades. Call up the Colts, say, hey, how much for Alec Pierce? No, don't take Alec Pierce, please.
Saints will be like, we'll give you a 7th round for Alec Pierce and Alvin Kamara because we don't need him and he's trash.
Oh, shit. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Imagine Kamara
Just
and
kidding. I
Taylor.
wouldn't. It would be so dumb. You don't need both those dudes.
Yeah, you do.
You only need one.
Carolina Panthers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers won 24-16, which we both predicted Carolina Panthers because fuck the Steelers.
Steelers have been wishy-washy, and I'll stand by that.
I think the Steelers' record is the perfect representation of what this team is. And I think the only reason why they're winning games is because Mike Tomlin doesn't want to have a losing season. And I think that's the only reason why they are even 6-8, because Pittsburgh Steelers should be tanking right now. But Mike Tomlin's ego is like, no, I'm never having a losing fucking season in my entire life.
You want to know something that no one gives credit to the Steelers for?
What?
Najee Harris hasn't been looking bad.
Hmm.
He's been kind of...
Has he been
I think they need to let him cook a little bit more.
Has he been eating?
Eating? Yes.
Eating.
He's been eating.
Eating.
I'd hope so.
I hope so too. How did he?
I'm like his mom. It's like, I hope you're eating well. Yeah, I mean, I think he's been really good at the goal line especially, and he's still a factor in the receiving game, I'm pretty sure. Which, maybe not so much as like with Roethlisberger, because with Roethlisberger he was, but maybe these new quarterbacks just haven't gone to the same rhythm. But I think he's primed for like a really good season next year.
Yeah, he had 24 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown against the Pans.
And please remember that offensive line is doing him no justice. He needs a better offensive line. I'm not even saying this for the quarterback's sake. He needs a better offensive line.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to run when your offensive line is just letting everyone go and making you get tackled every other play.
Offensive line rankings. Let's see where they are.
Eagles number 1, baby. Eagles number 1.
Yes, sir.
From week 14.
Hey, Packers are up 1.
Hey, yo. I didn't know that they had
Falcons, really? They're
Wow.
up there.
I didn't know that they had this extensive list. Or this.
Oh, yeah, PFF is always on top of it. This is what I know.
They always got those beautifully looking. Oh, AC.
Steelers is actually going up
Mm.
as of late. That's what they're saying, but still in the bottom half of the league.
Yeah,
And
he's.
then the Colts. See, at least the Colts are better than the Titans. That's what I will say.
Titans sucks. That's probably why they've been.
Shit, wait, where did they put the Colts?
It's
All right, it's actually not looking that bad.
It's all because of Quentin Nelson. He's been
upcoming
carrying.
opponent. They haven't updated it since this past week.
As long as they still have the Eagles as number 1, that's all that matters. The next game that we're going to be reviewing is Philadelphia Eagles versus the Chicago Bears. That's all I got to say. Kansas City Chiefs versus...
That's all you have to say.
This was such a bad performance by the Eagles. And it just kicked Hurts out of MVP race. And which...
Entirely?
Yeah, because... 1, he got 2 interceptions. Yes, he had 3 rushing touchdowns. But he also got injured, in which he's probably not going to come back for another 2 weeks. And at the rate that Patrick Mahomes is going, that pretty much locked Patrick Mahomes as MVP, because I don't know, because I think if Minshew is able to win against the Cowboys, I think Patrick Mahomes is just going. That's another like lock, hook, and sinker, or line, hook, and sinker.
Lock, hook, and
But I think that this game pretty much just kicked Jalen Hurts out of the MVP race. And I don't know. I think if he didn't have those 2 interceptions, I think he might be still in it, but that injury does not help at all. And yeah, those 2 interceptions did not look pretty at all because he forced the one because he thought that he was God. Because on the previous play, he had a beautiful throw to Devontae Smith. That looked like a Madden play where you just roll out to the left, throw one up in there, and hopefully that the receiver would catch it. And then he did that on the same exact play, the play after.
Icarus.
What?
You don't know the tale of Icarus? It's
Icarus?
In mythology. He flew too close to the sun. He thought it was invincible.
I just didn't hear you.
Oh, yeah. Icarus, baby.
Icarus.
Mac Miller talks about Icarus all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like one of his favorite illustrations, I guess. What I'll say, if you'd let me.
Well,
will you let me? Please.
Yeah, you can go.
Rushing defense, still an issue. Wasn't for a couple weeks now. I think we were actually pretty confident in the rushing defense for a bit. But then I think the combo, the QB running back running combo, does not help. Whereas like in other weeks, it wasn't like too much of a threat from the quarterback side. Montgomery had a game, but he's been having games. He's been pretty good.
I think we were able to hold Montgomery to only 53 yards, which I think is pretty respectable.
What that doesn't account for is he gets like a lot of like checkdowns behind the line of scrimmage. Those are essentially just like glorified running plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And he did get a touchdown, but I think I still am confident about this run defense because I think we were relatively able to stop him. I mean, he did have a 4.4 average, and that was still a really solid like performance by David Montgomery, and his other touchdown did come from passing. But I think our biggest issue, in which I have not been confident, even when we were having our rush defense play really good, I was still not confident in us being able to stop running quarterbacks because we just have not been able to stop them. And that was my biggest fear with Justin Fields, was that his running ability. And we just like stare at the running back or stare at the QB. And it's just the most annoying thing, i.e. when he had that long rushing touchdown that got called back, and it wasn't a touchdown, but it was like a 2nd and 27. And he was able to get like 40 yards on the play, and he like juked out the entire team. I think he had like 7 missed tackles on a singular play, and we're just not able to stop running quarterbacks. And I think that's one of our biggest flaws too. I didn't realize that David Montgomery was only 25. But our defense, I still think we can get to the quarterback pretty easily because we were able to get 6+ sacks. Thanks, Fields, all considering.
Yeah, it was just 6.
And that's our 3rd straight game with 6+ sacks. So I am pretty happy with that.
No, yeah, I still think the defense is very solid. Don't get me wrong. I just think the run defense definitely isn't solved yet. Like overall, I think you're gonna have some some games where that will end up biting you in the back. So
okay, I'm just gonna look up Eagles Bears because I looked up Justin Fields' stats.
Are you trying to look at his rushing?
Yeah,
it's 95 on 15 carries.
Yeah, that's not too good. That's not too good.
No, it's not. And then David Montgomery receiving yards was 38 on 3 receptions, which is basically a first down each time, if you want to look at it that way. And yeah, that's also not good.
Yeah,
that's nearly a total of 100 yards from Montgomery, and could have been more if the end zone wasn't right there.
Yeah.
I always like to look at it like that. Whenever someone gets a touchdown, it's like, could have been more.
But yeah, that's all I got to say because I did do a reaction in which I just like talked. So the next one is Kansas City Chiefs versus Houston Texans. And the thing that I will say is that these 3 games, Eagles, the one that we're talking about now, the Kansas City Chiefs, and Jacksonville Jaguars, all really weird games in which the underdog made it close. Very close. Way closer than a lot of people were thinking because they were predicting Dallas to beat Jackson. Wait, no, that was the week before. Never mind. But they were.
Predicting Dallas beat Jacksonville. Yeah, that was this week.
Well, no, because I was going to say, they were predicting like Dallas to like beat the Jaguars and everything. But I was thinking of last week when someone predicted a 21-point like gap in between the Cowboys and the Texans, in which the Texans were able to make it close. But nonetheless, the Dallas Cowboys were still up big. Wait, what the fuck? I'm lost for words. They were still predicted to beat the Jaguars by a lot of points. Kansas City Chiefs, in which we're talking about now, were predicted to beat the Houston Texans by a lot of points, and Philadelphia Eagles were projected to beat the Chicago Bears by a lot of points, in which all 3 games were within a touchdown, which was weird. I didn't see much of this Kansas City Chiefs game, but they were struggling to beat the Texans, and it was like toe-to-toe. And McKinnon had another humongous game. I think he had 2 total touchdowns, a game-winning touchdown, and back-to-back games where he had 30-plus points.
No, yeah, it was really just the Chiefs' defense, which we've always kind of like felt like it wasn't one of the stronger defenses out of the elite teams. But I mean, Mahomes cooked, and that's the other thing. Like, we haven't always seen the rushing be consistent from the Chiefs, but it's starting to. McKinnon is starting to like really shine a light, add that extra dimension that the Chiefs need. They do need in order to win a Super Bowl again. Because when I think about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl against the 49ers, I remember thinking like, man, that defense was legit. And now it's kind of like, whatever. I mean, Matt Tyran is not there anymore, so.
Yeah, that Chiefs running game is stepping up a big time. Isaiah, how do you pronounce his name? Isaiah Pacheco got 15 carries, 86 yards, 5.7 average. McKinnon got 10 carries, 52 yards, a touchdown, and he also got 8 receptions, 70 yards, another touchdown. As long as that rush defense continues like this, they're unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Yeah, I don't think a lot of teams are going to be able to beat the Chiefs with, as far as like just defenses go. They're just going to have to like engage in a shootout, a la the Bills-Chiefs game that went to shitty overtime, which is now fixed. It is now fixed.
How's it fixed?
Because it's not just like if the first team scores a touchdown, then they win. The other team gets a chance to respond now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long has that been in effect?
Well, this year. Because it was only last year where that was an issue. Okay. Well, not only last year, but.
Once the Chiefs meet the Eagles in the Super Bowl, that's the only time that they're going to be able to get stopped. And yeah.
We can now talk about the Detroit Lions and how they did what we wanted.
Whoa. Why are you skipping over Dallas?
Oh, I didn't realize we had done that because you had already like kind of mentioned Dallas.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we're kind of covering both. But yeah, you want to go off about how Dallas sucks, blah, 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 blah. Go for it.
Dallas sucks. No, the only thing that I would say about this that I just wanted to say, and we can move on to Detroit, is Dak, you suck. Dak, you suck. Thank you. But I just want to say, too, you suck. And thank you for throwing the game-winning touchdown. Much appreciated. Very much appreciated. And Doug Peterson is going to be in a Hall of Fame. Dougie P. Thank you, Dougie P. That was your signature win with the Jaguars. And Doug Peterson is still an Eagle at heart.
Oh, always.
Always. He always has the Eagles' best interests in favor. And he was like, Dallas, I see Dallas on the schedule. I see the Eagles on the schedule. We're going to allow the Eagles get a win. But we're still going to fuck up the Cowboys.
Of course.
That's all I got to say.
You know what I have to say?
What do you guys say?
Titans, you better watch out.
Yes.
Jags are coming. And they're coming in hot. Let's look at their final schedule.
Right now, they're 6-8.
Only 3 more games. They got Jets, but on the decline. Texans, kind of on the up, but they're tanking. They're not actually going to win. And then the Titans, that will decide it all. That might even be a primetime game. That might get flexed because that might be one of the closer battles for a division right now.
It's certainly not going to be the Eagles-Giants. We're going to be resting our players then.
Oh, shit. Yeah, because Bills win. Chiefs win. Could be a close thing between the Bengals and the Ravens, but I think Bengals will pull ahead this week.
Yeah, at the rate that the Ravens are playing.
49ers, easy. Vikings, they have it already. Bucks, Panthers, and Saints and Falcons. Anyone in the NFC South could win it still, which is crazy. Bucks are only up 1, but I still think the Bucks will take that. So
hopefully
they'll take that and they'll take it to the bank.
Yes.
Detroit Lions, 7-7, started at
1-5.
And now they're 7.
No, they started 1-6. My apologies.
Now they're 7-7.
They started 1-6. Now they're ending the season 6-1. Or no, 9-1. They're gonna end the season 9-1 after starting 1-6.
So here's my thing, right?
Yes. What's your thing?
My thing is
Tell me about your thing.
that last year, you know who had a similar story? The Dolphins. The Dolphins started off terrible, and then they went on like an 8-game win streak.
The Finns.
And now look at them.
Look at them.
Look at them now.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're gonna be saying about the Lions next year. We're gonna be like,
Do you think Jared is going to continue playing?
no. Maybe one more year, and then they'll try to trade up for a quarterback in the next draft. But I could also see them trading up or staying where they're at, because I think there will be some good quarterbacks that could fall to them, and they'll be like experimental, or not experimental, but project quarterbacks, where Jared Goff will probably start like the first year while that rookie's benched. But if Goff gets hurt, at least they have the insurance policy.
I agree. I think they stay with him another year.
Yeah, I think he'll be on the team another year, at least. Whether or not he starts all 17 games, I don't know. But what I will say is that the Jets also now 7-7 after starting basically 6-1. Not exactly. I don't remember what their best record was at any point this season, but it was looking really good for the Jets, is what I'll say. And no.
Not so good. Let's do some quick math. They started 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 6-1, 7-1, and that after that.
Yeah, there you have it. So yeah, I was actually right. They did at one point. So
wait, no. They lost their first one. Wait, fuck.
Whatever. I was right. Gil was wrong.
Yes.
That's all. Denver Broncos actually won.
Am I blind? Okay.
You're not going to clap for the Denver Broncos winning? There you go.
Sorry. What a bad co-host. That was so irresponsible of me.
They beat McSorley.
We have to clap the entire time.
They beat McSorley.
Good job.
I can't name anyone on the Cardinals defense except J.J. Watt, and he's basically Phillip Rivers now. So
yeah. Hey, that's all I got to say about that. New England Patriots versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders actually won in a close game. Their first one. They're now 1-4 in the overtime. Wait, did this go into overtime? They're 1-4 in something.
Bad co-host. He doesn't even know.
I know everything. You know why I know everything? Because Google knows everything, and I can type things into Google, and it will tell me. So thus,
they don't know my favorite color. Try searching that on Google, bitch.
You know what? You got me. Oh, it didn't go into overtime, so I lied to you guys. But they're 1-4 in close games, maybe. Take that as a grain of salt.
This is the most factual, assuring podcast you'll ever hear. They're 1-4, maybe. You find out. Yeah, I think the Raiders have a shot still, and I think they will be able to end their season very solidly. They might even end up with a winning record. I don't know. It's possible. They do run into the 49ers, which will be an issue, but at least it won't be like a too dominant of like a home game for the 49ers, that is. Or will it be at the Raiders? Whatever. Doesn't matter. It will be at the Raiders.
Yes. And just an update, I looked up what is Titus Lincoln Oldham's favorite color. Didn't pop up.
I make moves in silence. Google don't know shit.
That's why you don't know his next move ever. Only I know his next move because I'm his best friend in the entire world. He's never had a best friend like me.
You know what? I won't waste my time trying to dissect all of that.
We got
I'll just let you have it.
Okay. Well, we
You
got
know
time
what?
if you want to get
If
dissected.
you want to be that wrong, you can be that wrong.
All right, I like being wrong.
Cool. Chargers. What? They won.
8-6 now. Eckler had a bad game.
That's
Ooh.
okay.
Not for my fantasy.
Well, who cares?
I care.
Chargers. What are you going to do with them? You just never know what they're going to do to you and your feelings if you're a Chargers fan.
And or fantasy team.
Or, yeah, if you have any of them on your fantasy, like I did.
I have Allen and Eckler and Williams.
I had Herbert.
Mm.
But the consolation prize is Titans suck. Next up, we have the Cincinnati just going ham on that
Dismantle.
Bucks defense.
This is the first weekend. This is factual. This is a factual fact that I brewed from the NFL social media.
You brewed it from them.
Yeah, because I looked and I like clicked on it and I double clicked on it.
So it's brewing.
Yeah, it's brewing to me.
Sounds more like borrowing.
Well, you take it as it will. But this is the first time in NFL history where 3 separate teams came back from 17 points and won. Bengals, Vikings. Forget the other one.
Could have been Jags.
Could have been Jags. I think it was Jags. Yeah, it was Jags. 100%. So those are the 3 teams.
Congrats, guys. Must be nice. I think here's another big boy stat, right? First time that Chase, Higgins, and who was the other guy? The other receiver?
Boyd?
Boyd. All got a touchdown in the same game.
Let me back that up.
What do you mean? You can't just trust me?
I can trust you. I just want to look at Joe Burrow's
That was
stat.
also his ties for Burrow's highest in a game in touchdowns. He got
4 TDs.
his 4 on only 200 yards. Very weird game.
Another stat to support that is Bengals had 4 straight turnovers.
One of them was a Burrow interception, but we won't talk about that
We won't.
because his MVP race, I think, is still alive.
Yes, but.
Oh no!
What?
You know, what I just realized.
What? Tom Brady sucks? He had 2 interceptions.
No, not that.
3 touchdowns. 312 yards. What?
I'm down 8 against you.
Oh no. It's going to be like another scenario like year 1 when you have to
Yeah.
protect opposite of me. Are you going to do that or are you just going to...
We'll see. I could always make it back in time.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 3 games left. He knows.
3 weeks. Not 3 games left.
3 weeks.
If there's only 3 games left, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy, but yeah, you can just say I'm the GOAT in predicting. Like I'm about to 3-peat. But you know what? That's all the bragging I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep it humble, because every time I brag, I always get shot. I always shoot my own.
I always get shot.
I always shoot myself in the own foot. So I'm not gonna brag until it's over and the 3-peat is official.
Are you done?
I'm done boasting.
Giants finally got the win that they deserved the first time they played Washington, because I really do believe that was their game to win.
I agree.
Giants win. Heineke is ass.
No, I don't agree.
Start
with you.
Wentz.
Ooh.
Because I think they've already secured the second round pick. I think you can safely start Wentz now.
Let's see his stats. Let me dissect this. Would Carson Wentz have a better performance? He had 17 for 29, 249 yards, and a touchdown. I think Carson Wentz could have a better game.
Look at his first couple of weeks, man. He was cooking.
But what happened to your boy Josh Allen 2.0?
What do you mean? You know how Josh Allen started. He doesn't always cook immediately. It takes some time.
He only had 160 yards.
His first year with the ball wasn't the best. It was the second. That's why he's Josh Allen 2.0. When they have him sign the fifth year option.
Wait,
how he comes back?
How the fuck did they score? Did they score on like a defensive touchdown or something?
Are you okay? Are you okay, dude?
Yeah, but how the fuck did they get 20 points? If Saquon's their only touchdown scorer. 7? Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, field goals. Oh, I guess they could have, like, missed an extra point, maybe. That probably how they maybe did it. What do you mean? Why are you looking at me like that? I guess I could look down. They didn't even have any interceptions. How the fuck did they get to that point? Did they get any punt returns or kick returns?
You want to know what happened?
What happened?
My man Thibodeau, that's what happened.
Oh, I do remember seeing that. I do.
Picked up that ball that he strip sacked. It was a strip sack into his own score. Usually, you don't see that a lot. You recovering the own fumble that you forced and scoring off of it, very rare. And he did it in his first year against a divisional rival, where they're both the same record. Late in the season, this could affect playoff odds. He did it in the biggest of moments, prime time, and that's why he's the GOAT. Aiden Hutchinson, who? The guy on the Jaguars, I don't even remember his name. No one does.
Joe?
Because what has he been doing?
Nothing. That's probably what.
I'm serious. I don't remember the first overall pick's name anymore. I haven't heard his name.
Wait, let me look this up. Jaguars.
What was his name? I'm like shocked. I can't think of it.
Jaguars first round.
Anyways.
Pick. Anyway, what do you mean anyways?
While he's doing
it's Josh
that, while
Allen.
he's doing that, you're so dumb. It's not Josh Allen.
It was in 2019.
Not the first overall.
No. Pick 2. Devin Lloyd, Utah.
No.
Trevin Walker.
Travon Walker. On Caleb's third try, trying to find it. Yes, it was Travon Walker. That's right.
Green Bay Packers did beat the Rams.
Oh, did they?
By 12 points. It was 24-12. Green Bay Packers are 6-8 now. Could they?
No, stop. They're not making the playoffs. What do you mean?
They could.
No.
9-8.
How?
9-8. Wild card.
Who? They would have to beat all of the Giants, Washington, and the Cowboys.
I think it's possible.
Washington is 1.5 ahead.
Yeah, it could be possible.
It's technically, but.
Is the mic still on? Because I don't know when the camera stopped. Wow, we're going an hour and 1 minute.
Anyways.
Christian Watson did not do good this game. I was expecting you to get 2 touchdowns and save my fantasy, but no. He decided to flop.
Yeah, he didn't have a single rush. I don't know why you expected him to get a rush when he...
Because he got a rush the last time.
I don't think he did. You're going to have to pull it up.
Well, talk about the game while I find this stat.
No, I'll just talk about the MVP race, because who cares about that game? Like, let's be honest. Rams, Packers, you care.
No, I care about saying that he got a rushing touchdown.
Okay, so go find it while I talk about the MVP race.
Okay, I'll bring it up later.
You know who's my favorite player right now?
Me.
Currently? It's Justin Jefferson. I love to watch Justin Jefferson because he always manages to find the spark for the team in, like, just the best of ways. I don't know. Like, it's, you know, like AJ Brown, you always, like, have those big time tutties that are, like, right into the end zone.
1 attempt, 46 yards, and a touchdown. Rushing.
Okay. Why are you bringing it up right now? I'm trying to talk about the MVP race. That's really rude for you to interrupt. I think, like, you kind of know what you're getting from Devontae Smith, because the type of catches he gets, it's just what he does. AJ Brown, it's just what he does. They all have their, like, roles within being a receiver, and you kind of know where they're going to be on the field at a certain time. I think Jefferson really does it all. I think when we talk about the receivers that can really do it all, Jefferson is, like, one of the only ones, in my mind, who can just, like, you can give him any route and he'll find success.
I agree.
Whereas, like, everyone else, they're really good in, like, certain ways. And that's not dissing them, because if you're so elite in doing your thing, then it doesn't matter. But what I love about Jefferson's game is just like how dynamic he is and always being able to find the spark for the team that is led by Kirk Cousins. I mean, come on. You need that. So that's why I have him as my offensive player of the year. He has like kind of ran away with it, honestly. He's first in receiving yards, receptions, targets, and receiving first downs. It's like, who's doing it?
He had 12 receptions, 123 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, the only other person who's really doing it is Tyreek Hill, but to a lesser capacity nowadays. Because Tua is also kind of slipping, and yeah, the dynamic is just not as strong as it was first couple of weeks, for example. I think Tyreek Hill could still bring it back with a couple of big time games, but at the same time, that would also depend on Jefferson not getting those big time games. And let's see who they play in these final moments of the NFL regular season of 2022. It will be Giants, which actually respectable corners over in New York. Packers, sort of, kind of. Bears, not really. So I have a good amount of faith in Jefferson securing this dub.
And the Dolphins they don't got anyone.
Dolphins?
Or are you comparing the Tyreek and Jefferson?
No, I was just comparing like Jefferson's schedule and how strong their defenses are.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to talk about the Dolphins,
nah, I don't.
Their last two games are Patriots-Jets, both really great defensive back teams. So
yeah,
a little rough around the edges right there. They could honestly hold on. What if the Dolphins end with a wait? It won't be a losing record, I don't think. Actually, where are they at right now? They're 8-6. Oh, they could. They could end at 8-9.
Oof. That would be so bad.
Because I think all those teams, Packers, Patriots, Jets, could give them a hard time.
It's just the reverse of what they did last year.
No, stop it. Stop. Okay. Let's talk about Nick Bosa, because everyone wants to talk about Parsons. Oh, he's so great. Right, Parsons. We get it. Like, it's definitely Parsons versus Bosa for the Defensive Player of the Year. No one else is coming close right now. But you know what Nick Bosa has that Parsons doesn't? He has the stats. All right? Yeah, put Parsons everywhere on the football field to make a play. Sure, I get it. But, like, where we're putting him on the field, why can't he make more plays the same way that Bosa is? You know what I'm saying? Like, I like it when the stats support it.
I agree.
In the same way that, like, last year, like, Shaquille Leonard, I feel like should have been more in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation because he had the stats. And, like, how do you not have an influence with those stats? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And everyone wanted to take away from Trevon Diggs because, like, he let up a lot of yards, but it's like, yeah, but also getting those interceptions are pretty big. I feel like that cancels each other out. But, you know, to each their own. I love it when the stats support the influence when you see it on the field. I think within an offense, it's a bit different, right? Because quarterbacks can be, you know, be in a good system with, like, a lot of great receivers or run game that balances out well. Offensive line could be doing them a lot of favors. You know, I can see the argument there, but on a defense, I feel like, yes, it is a lot of teamwork, but I feel like the individuality and your own individual, like, excellence shines a lot brighter on the defensive side. But maybe the actual players in the NFL would disagree with me because I'm not a pro. All right, don't take my word for it. But just from purely a spectator standpoint, I would take Bosa over Parsons and Jefferson over Tyreek right now.
I'll be right back. I need to get another battery for the camera.
Terrible co-host.
Well, it's like MVP race.
Terrible co-host.
I apologize.
You know what? I'm gonna be on my phone until you come back.
Why?
I'm joking.
I was gonna put music over you on your phone the entire time.
Tua Tagovailoa is kind of out of the MVP race, if I'm being honest. But I'll keep him in for now to start off our top 5. This is so awkward. He's not even fucking here. Hey, future Caleb, I hate you. The nice thing about Tua is he does have, like, pretty good stats. In I don't even know, like, how to explain this. The volume is, like, pretty decent. Also, when you consider that he didn't play 2 of these games. One of those games that he did play was not to the full extent of it. I think that the rating is the part of his like stat sheet that shines the brightest at 108. That's beautiful. Better than anyone. Better than Hurts now. Hurts was leading last week and now he's not. So yeah, I think Tua definitely still has like really good sides to his game that are going to help him if he ever does make it back into this MVP race to catch up with the likes of Mahomes and Hurts, but it's going to be very difficult. But still, to be in the top 5 at this point in his career, still very young, very respectable. I don't think anyone should be giving him shit at all. He's on the up. Next year will be even better. I have no doubt about it. Josh Allen. He had a really great game against the Dolphins, actually. I think it was his best in a while, and I was almost tempted to put him up, but at the same time, I don't think any of the other players had performances that warranted falling below Allen at this current point, but he's definitely fought his way back into the conversation. You know, he's kind of, wiggling his way back in there, and it's not over for him. That's what I'll say. That's the most important part. It's not over for the Bills fans that want to see him hoist the MVP trophy. Does it have a name? Does the MVP trophy have a name?
I do not actually know. I feel like it should have a name.
Right, because NBA now has the Michael Jordan trophy.
Is that the same as MVP?
Yeah. It is the MVP.
Ah.
Anyways, Josh Allen, keep it up. I think you can fight your way back into it easily. Joe Burrow.
It's just AP most valuable player.
Not anymore. That's in the NFL.
I thought we were talking about that.
I thought you were searching up NBA for a second. Yeah. Yeah, because it's the Associated Press that decides, so that makes sense. Joe Burrow, I'm appreciating that people are appreciating him. People are starting to observe and recognize the fact that he has fought his way back into this MVP race after starting off the year pretty lousily, can we say? I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it because he's got really great accuracy. The completion percent shines brighter than anyone else on this list, and the volume is insane. So yeah, I think he's one of the most well-rounded players actually, and that doesn't get enough notice. But it's all about how he ends. I think if he ends with 3 straight really solid games and Mahomes maybe even just slips up once, that could be enough. Because Mahomes, as great as his volume is alone, there's also a lot of downside to his game that I feel like we're not talking about enough. And I think one bad game would highlight it, and also kind of recency bias as well. If he ends up with a really bad game mixed into this final 3, it could be enough to make this Associated Press, lean a certain way. So we'll see. Yeah, the only big change on here is that I moved Hurts below Mahomes.
Yeah,
But that was kind of expected.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that whole turnover thing in his favor anymore because Mahomes has thrown 11 interceptions, which, Hurts still only has 5. That's, half of what Mahomes has thrown. But at the same time, he has fumbled twice. Mahomes still fumbleless. Or fumbled lost, at least. Maybe he has fumbled, but hasn't lost it. It hasn't turned into a turnover.
Yeah, I think the only way that Hurts would be able to win the MVP at this point is if he would be able to have a huge game against the Cowboys, but obviously, sadly, he's not playing against the Cowboys. And
Sirianni still hasn't counted him out.
Really?
He's not officially ruled out yet.
I hope he plays because, I don't know, I just want him, if he can have a really big game against the Cowboys, then that I feel then he's right in the running again. But that 2 interception performance is not good at all. But I kind of want Minshew to play. Because.
Why?
The only reason why?
What?
Because this isn't a serious injury from the Hurts. But I want Hurts to rest a game and then play against the Saints or whatever. Or I guess vice versa. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm indifferent because with the Cowboys' excuse for why the Eagles beat the Cowboys the first time this season was because Dak Prescott was not playing. And I feel like Minshew can beat the Cowboys.
No.
And I want...
It's not happening. If Minshew's playing, it's a loss. But I'd be willing to put money on that.
I want Minshew to beat the Cowboys and show that our team is powerful and great.
It's not.
I want it to happen so badly.
I know you want it to happen. I want it to happen. And I don't even like Minshew, but it's not going to.
I think it's gonna happen. Our team is just that good, and Minshew's that good. But if Jalen Hurts does play, and Nick Sirianni is like out rested the last 2 games, Hurts is gonna throw for 4 touchdowns and 500 yards.
I think the Cowboys defense is great, but at some point, the offense just gets the better calls. Let's be honest. Like, the NFL leans more offensively just for the ratings. And so a lot of like refereeing kind of influences that. And when an offense is as productive as the Eagles, it doesn't really matter what defense they run into. The defense just has to hope on the other side of the ball their offense gets going as well. And that's why we see every year, as much as we say like defense wins Super Bowls, I think like if you're facing a really dominant offense, not always. Because like, I mean, think about the 49ers when they played the Chiefs. It's just like Mahomes just wasn't getting stops. Like, it was still a respectable performance from the 49ers defense, don't get me wrong. But at some point, Mahomes will put up points, and you just gotta fucking hope that Jimmy Garoppolo will respond, and he doesn't. And then when you think about how the Bucs beat Mahomes, Tom Brady was lights out, playing unstoppable. Defense couldn't do shit. And then the offensive line let down Mahomes. Right, because their starting left tackle was out that playoffs. And so it just wasn't the same level of dominance equally on both sides of the ball offensively. And so that's where I would say that, like, Eagles still do have the edge over the Cowboys because I don't think the Cowboys' offense is that consistent right now. Like, at their peak, amazing, but I just don't see the consistency in the same way that the Eagles have been showing it. And I need to see it in order to really believe in a Cowboys Super Bowl run. But right now, not really. And so, yeah, capping this all off, if Minshew wins, which you want, I think that would put an end to Hurts' MVP campaign. Because that would just prove a certain somebody right that Jalen Hurts is just the system.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Micah Parsons said that.
I want Hurts to play. But, like, I don't want him to get hurt. I don't want him to be healthy through, like, the playoffs and stuff. And if that means meeting like, the Cowboys in the playoffs with Hurts, I'm all for it. Fuck, I forgot to lock it.
So, what I'm thinking is, like, sure, let the Cowboys have their regular season win. It doesn't really matter because when it comes time for the playoffs, big boys are going to be big boys. All right? I think the Eagles are more ready playoff wise. Like, when it comes to playoff football, I think the Eagles will be dominant. And the Cowboys, I think just like last year, true colors may show a little. And they won't be able to stop the offenses no matter how good their defenses are. Like, they can't even stop Jimmy G. I mean, come on.
I agree. And they couldn't even stop Trevor Lawrence.
So, yeah. Well, I will say Trevor Lawrence has been looking, may I say, elite as of late, but still, that it kind of just proves what I said. Like, no matter how good your defense is, when an elite quarterback's playing elite,
unstoppable.
Doesn't matter how good your defense is. You just gotta hope that your offense can respond, which is the same thing why the Broncos have been
so bad,
because the defense putting in the work, and then Russ just can't cook. I mean, those meals just aren't hitting. So let's talk about our predictions for Week 16, which we're now 3 weeks off of. 3 weeks away from the playoffs. Yeah. That's so crazy, man. The playoffs are right around the corner. Like, I can see it.
I feel like we were just talking about the game 1 of the NFL season.
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
Like, yesterday.
Do you remember who it was? Because I do.
Who? Wait, what do you mean who it was?
The first game.
The first game that we talked about?
The first game of the NFL season, yeah.
I believe it was the Denver Broncos. No? Wait.
That was the first Monday night game of the year.
Wait.
Or Sunday night.
He won the
I think it was Monday night.
He won the Super Bowl last year.
How did you...
Bengals and Chiefs. No, Chiefs. Chiefs played. Chiefs won. Bengals was in the Super... No, fuck. That can't even happen. It was Bengals Rams. Okay. That was a slip. Okay, pretend that was a glitch in the Matrix, in which did not happen. But it was the first game of the season was Rams and I don't know who the other team was, but I know it was 100% sure it was the Rams. It was the Rams, right?
I'm gonna just save you from embarrassment and just move on because that was a lot, Caleb. You said the Bengals one and then you said the Chiefs, and I was like, all right, so
Wait, what was the first game? I'm curious now. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find out.
no, come on, you got this.
It was Rams 49ers. It was the Rams, right? Rams,
Yes, I mean the Super Bowl winner always starts every season.
Yeah. Week 1. Okay, before I click this, I forget who the fuck did the Rams play. Who the fuck did the? I don't even know who. I don't even know. Bills. Oh, I do remember that. That was a that was a shame.
Caleb, I'm worried about you.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why? I'm just a little tipsy.
I'm a goofball.
Yeah.
It's that fucking meme. You should definitely put that in. Oh my god.
I'm a goofball. All right, let's talk
Wait,
about.
wait.
Oh wait.
Imagine having beef with me. I'm just a little jokester, a silly little guy. So funny.
Can you resend that to me so I can put that in?
Yeah.
Thanks, Brosiv. This is why we're the best. This is why we're best friends for life, and this is why we're going to be doing this podcast until we're 85.
Please, God, no. I would kill myself.
And on our deathbed. Come on, we have to. What else would we be doing when we're?
I hope better things. God, I hope.
When we're billionaires on our private islands, talking about.
You think I would be putting shit on the internet? No.
Talking about why the crabs bit our toes this morning on the beaches of Hawaii.
I mean, I'm down to have crabs bite my toes on the beaches of Hawaii. Don't get me wrong. But will I be talking about that for the masses on the internet? I don't think so.
I think you will. I'm going to force you. I'm going to sign a
At this point in my life, I'm fine with it because this feels like my career-ish. I'm just like, preparing myself for, make those millies, baby. But when I'm already successful, I'm going to start reverting to my true form, which is just not being associated with anyone or anything. I'm just going to be my own person, live my life in privacy.
This is your person. This is your form.
I hope this isn't who I am for the rest of my life. My long-term plan is to focus on career through my 20s and just racks on racks, baby. And then when I'm in my 30s, I'm going to start to coast. I'm just like, you know what? I accrued enough of that money and I can start to take it a little easy and I can start to be way more private about my life. I don't have to put it all out there anymore, I don't have to put everything on the line like I used to.
I'm wanting to cut to this in 35 years and be like, ha, told you.
I would be very sad. Which is what I'm trying to say. God, I hope that doesn't happen.
Cut to episode 1562.
On that very episode, I will blow my brains out.
All right, okay. Let's actually talk about what we're actually supposed to talk about this podcast, and which is football. And this is Week 16, 2022-2023 NFL predictions, in which Jacksonville Jaguars are playing the New York Jets. We both have the Jacksonville Jaguars because I personally have the Jaguars because I want Dougie P to continue winning, and I want to see them make the playoffs. I want them to eliminate the Titans from the playoffs. And yeah, the New York Jets are just on a downfall right now. We said this earlier, they've lost the last 4 out of 5 games. They have not had a control on this end of the season kind of run like you would want heading into the playoffs. This is exact opposite of what you want heading into the playoffs. But I got the Jacksonville Jaguars because they're on the up. They just beat the Dallas Cowboys, considered by many and on many polls the number 1 team, or at least the number 2 team behind the Eagles. So that's why I got the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The thing about the Jets is that no one really expected this success this year because they are such a young team. Second-year head coach. They had 3 first-round picks. Not 3. I think they had 2 first-round picks. And then Breece Hall feels like a first-round pick, but I don't think he was. And I think that they will be a very successful team in the years to come. But I'm fine if they miss the playoffs here, and I think they aren't trending towards it right now. In fact, they're trending way, way away. And the Jaguars, back-to-back first overalls, they're tired of that. They want the playoffs now. And I think that's exactly what they're going to get. Amen.
Amen, brother. Detroit Lions versus the Carolina Panthers. I got the Detroit Lions because we also said this at the beginning of the podcast. They started 1-6 to start the season. Now they're 6-1 in the last 7 games. Yep. They're on a tear. They just beat the New York Jets, which we were saying is fallen, but it's still impressive win nonetheless.
Yeah, it's still a decent team no matter what.
And, Carolina, this is going to be another kind of middle of the pack team as of recently, the Carolina Panthers, and this is going to be, I don't know, the Carolina Panthers 5-9. They don't really have that much to play for as of, well, I guess they do because
they are still in the playoff race.
But I think the Detroit Lions are also in the playoff race as well, fighting for that wild card spot. And I think they're not going to let the simpleton Carolina Panthers stop them from going to the playoffs.
Tell them, Caleb. I think people are starting to notice something. The Lions' defense is not the Lions' defense of old. That was just letting all the yardage in the world. Give me more. It's more like, why am I not getting this yardage against this team? Weren't they supposed to give it to me? What's happening? Rut-row, daddy-o. So the Lions, they're a brick wall against the rush right now. Zonovan Knight just couldn't get anything cooking, right? It was not hitting. And I think Carolina has been leaning a lot on their running back core and Foreman and Hubbard and Blackshear. Yeah, I don't think that Sam Darnold is going to cook against the Lions. So, yeah, I think, may I say it? May I?
Say it.
Could be a shutout.
Ooh, I would like to see that happen. I just picked up the Lions in fantasy, so hopefully that happens. He just made it official. He commented in our spreadsheet. That's the most official thing that you can do. But moving on to the next game. Buffalo Bills versus Chicago Bears. I predict the Buffalo Bills winning this. Simple as that.
Same.
Bears suck. I don't got much else to say than that.
If they suck, how come you only beat them by 5?
If the Houston Texans suck, how come the...
They don't. They're just tanking. They purposely lose.
Well, the Bears, I can say the same. They're tanking as well, and they purposely lose, too. And
Still only by 5.
Shut up.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
Bills by more than 5.
You know what's probably going to happen? But you just want the downfall of the Eagles. You hate them.
No.
You're a stupid coach. I quit. You're not an Eagles fan.
I just gotta humble the Eagles whenever I can. That way, they don't get too much into the mentality of like we have to win every game because that's all we're capable of doing. It's just wins on wins. Can never lose. I want the Eagles to win a Super Bowl with humility. That's how I feel.
What? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Is just to win.
Listen.
No matter what? Win, no matter what.
You are supposed to win no matter what? Money on my mind. I can never get enough. But you shouldn't have the mentality of everything is like easy dub. Like we have to like win this because that's all we're ever able of doing. You know what I mean? Like it's the mentality I'm talking about. Yeah. Like obviously play to win every game, but don't play like you're supposed to win. Never play like you're supposed to win. Play like you have to, need to, gotta get those scraps wherever you can. Gotta fight for it.
Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts is the first one to admit this, but all of Eagles Nation also will admit this too. This was the Eagles' most ugly, one of the most the win against the Bears was one of the most ugliest wins of the year so far, if not the ugliest win of the year.
I would say it was against the Colts, but whatever.
I mean, Jalen Hurts didn't throw 2 interceptions.
It doesn't matter.
He was flawless.
Pull up stats. You want to go there? Colts were cooking defensively.
And I said
This was before Jeff Saturday. No, actually, it wasn't. Jeff Saturday was playing. Actually, that's crazy. Jeff Saturday was kind of cooking at first, and now it's just been terrible.
he was 190 yards, a touchdown, and 107 rating, in which he didn't get that many yards.
But I guess he was efficient.
I'll
give him that.
Yeah.
But he just couldn't get those deep, yummy good ones like he was getting against everyone else. I will move ahead and talk about how my Cleveland Browns... No, I'm not claiming Cleveland Browns. Fuck those guys. But I'm going to take the Browns over the Saints because I think the Browns are on the uptrend, right? This is where they're headed. And the Saints are like flat, plateauing. Like they've just been where they've already been. Nothing new. They might just be able to coast their way into fucking... Dude, that would suck for the Eagles. If the Saints win the division.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why I picked the worthless Browns.
Is because you want that easy fucking Bryce Young pick. No, who would you take? Will Anderson. If you end up with a top 5 pick, Will Anderson.
That's the defensive player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a running back would be cool too, but I don't know.
I think
Will
Anderson...
Bijan Robinson go that early? I don't think you would. I think you'd be reaching there, so you'd probably want to trade back.
Will Anderson's probably going to fall to the 32nd pick, so
You're dumb. Will Anderson will be the first defensive player taken off the board, and if he's not, the team that didn't take him is stupid. Stupid.
All 32 teams are going to miss on him, so...
Not the Colts. Colts would never. We will take that edge rusher easily.
So the Saints... All right. This is a pretty good schedule for the Saints. If you are anti-Saints.
If you're pro Eagles.
Yes.
Having a top pick.
Yes. But literally, that's the only reason why I picked the Cleveland Browns is so that we can get a better pick. Damn.
Number 1 overall rank out of anyone.
Oof. Where is that running back rank?
He's definitely the best running back in the draft and one of the best since Saquon Barkley, but it's 20 because he's coming off of injury. That's the issue.
No one wants him off of injury, so that's why he's going to fall to 32nd, and we're going to pick up Will Anderson in the top 5.
Jahmyr Gibbs is also amazing, I will say. A lot of people aren't giving him a lot of credit just because this Alabama team isn't as productive as it used to be, like with Najee Harris and all of them. But I still think Gibbs is just as talented as like all of the previous Alabama running backs. Just hasn't really been given the chance to show it as much. In fact, he could end up getting taken over Bijan just because of the injury scenario. But
He's the 32nd best player. Yeah, we're not going to take a wide receiver.
But I am big on this guy from out of Tennessee, Jalen Hyatt.
Hi. I don't like how I said that.
Yeah, that was questionable. But I know you didn't intend on that. Maybe take a linebacker. Do you have any elite linebackers?
Edwards has been playing really good. I feel like he's top 10 linebackers this year.
Yeah, but you can always use another.
No.
There's always 2 linebackers on a field at any given point.
We only
That's not
need
true.
one.
That's not necessarily true.
We only need one. So.
Okay. But you also do have to draft.
No, it's okay.
Trade them all away. For what?
Everything.
Futures? For like 20, 30 picks? When
I said who we're going to pick Will Anderson for our number 1 pick, and then the running back for our 30.
number 1 overall.
Oh, I mean, with our 5th pick.
Saints are somehow going to have number 1
Imagine.
overall. Texans just go off.
I'm pretty sure Houston probably already.
No, yeah, it's locked.
Yeah, it's locked.
Essentially.
And yeah, so Tennessee Titans versus Houston Texans. I got the Tennessee Titans because the only reason why I got the Titans is because Houston is basically like tanking at this point.
Not basically.
And that's all I'm going to say. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Seattle Seahawks. I got the Kansas City Chiefs because the Seattle Seahawks have been looking bad, and the Chiefs are still running after that number 1 bye, or number 1 seed for that bye. And yeah, I just think Kansas City Chiefs is not going to let off a break until they secure what they want, and which is that bye. And they're still in the running with the Buffalo Bills. They're both 11-3, so yeah, that's what I gotta say.
Nice.
And I don't think Geno Smith is not the shit anymore. He's anti the shit.
What? No, I still think Gino has it in him.
Why do you got the Chiefs? What? Say it.
Okay, chill.
You're taking too long.
You know what? Actually, we're moving on just to spite you.
Fine.
We have our first dispute because I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to beat your precious New York Giants because you love the New York Giants.
Yes.
You pick them every week.
I didn't pick them last week.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm messing. But I know how anti-Vikings you are. You pick against them every single week except when they pick the Colts, which you take that dub, but
You take that as you will.
take that as you will, as you must, as you may.
I just think the Vikings are bad. And
You're wrong.
they're
It's been
just-
proven time and time again.
They're just bad. They don't got what it takes to win in this league.
They're inconsistent,
Yes,
but they're not bad.
they're bad. They don't got what it takes to win. They would be 1-11 a couple weeks ago if they in 1-score games. They would be 1-11. Just take that as you will.
And the Eagles would be?
6-6. They're still a better team. So
I'm just saying that these what if NFL standings are interesting. But at the end of the day, every possession matters. Every little mistake matters in this league. Not a lot is really separating the Texans from the Eagles. But coaching matters. Plenty of little things matter. And when it comes to the Vikings, they have those little things. Even if it's not consistent every quarter. But, I mean, that's the same with the Eagles, right? Their second quarters are amazing and then do nothing third quarter. That's fine, though, because they get the wins. Oh, he's about to brag about the one game. All right, go for it. Go for it, champ. You got it.
Eagles won 24-7. That's all I gotta say. Where are you now, Vikings fans? Your precious little fucking team lost to the Eagles 24-7. Primetime Kurt, what are you gonna do? Huh? Every single fucking game in the playoffs is fucking prime time. What are you fucking gonna do? Kirk Cousins is going to fucking get 3 interceptions the first game. I don't even know if he's going to make it out of the wild card. Huh? I don't care how good the Vikings are. Primetime Kirk is bad.
I'm just gonna.
All that offense is Justin Jefferson, JJ.
Hey, put some respect on Dalvin Cook.
Look,
He went off.
look. You just gotta focus on JJ. Once you stop JJ, you just gotta stop.
JJ.
JJ. You just gotta stop the Dalvin Cook a couple times.
Easier said than done, Caleb.
Yeah, that's easy.
just have to stop Offensive Player of the Year, most productive wide receiver
Eagles
of
did
the
it.
past 3 years.
If the Eagles did it, then anyone can do it.
Once.
Yeah, if the Eagles did it, anyone can do it.
It's not gonna happen again. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's
They
gonna-
could still win against them. I already said this last week. It's the same argument, isn't it? But
Yeah.
they could still beat the Vikings, but they're not gonna stop Justin Jefferson the same way they did the last time they played.
I'm going to predict that they even stop him even further.
You're stupid. You're dumb.
I say he only gets 1 reception and 5 yards.
I'm over this. Too cocky. And this is exactly why I choose the humble Eagles whenever I can, because I don't like this mentality that's going on over here. Because the bigger they are, the harder they fall. You know, if they lose, Caleb's going to be crying in his room for 2 weeks.
Yes, okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right, I'm gonna take myself down a peg. I just like to meme on the Vikings. I don't know why, but I just think it's funny.
Haven't they had enough from the Eagles fans? Come on. All right, Bengals versus the Patriots. Patriots, they're 7-7. They're, like I said, wishy-washy. They get some, they lose some, but you know who's not losing at all as of late?
Joe Burrow
Barrow. Yep, you were right there.
burning these wins.
Yeah. All right, we'll ignore that. Bengals will win. We both say it. And then Caleb's going to predict Atlanta, and which he knows what happens when he predicts Atlanta, but he's going to ignore.
Oh, what the
He's going
fuck?
to ignore everything we've been saying for the past 2 years about what happens when you predict Atlanta.
That was kind of good timing.
So why do you have Atlanta? Is what I'm wondering.
I'm just testing this curse. I know it's real. Don't get me wrong, it's real. But I'm just testing it. That's all.
Because you're up by 8.
Yeah, and I just want to test it.
Okay. But why against the Ravens?
Well, you see, Lamar Jackson's is not going to be back.
Yeah, he will. Fuck. He's questionable, at least. But last week was doubtful, which is pretty good. Like, it wasn't a straightaway, just like, oh yeah, he's out this game. It was like doubtful, and then they waited a bit because there's still a chance. And now he has a whole another week on top of that. So I think he's gonna play, and I need him to because fantasy. But yeah, do you want to change your vote?
No, because I don't want to change my vote because of that. I think this is going to be my upset of the week.
I love the revisionist history. All right, Washington versus San Francisco.
I got SF.
Yeah, give me Brock Purdy over Taylor Heineke. You know what's funny? These are both like those fringe starters. It's like they shouldn't be starters, but they are, and they're not looking terrible. But you know, at the same time, it's like it's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt because it's just so easy to doubt these guys. You know what I mean? And I think Brock Purdy's been stronger, has had stronger performances than Heineke has. You know, Heineke is a good game manager. I'll give him that, but Purdy puts it up. He gets numbers. And then on the other side of the ball, I think 49ers defense is a brick wall, and Washington's is all right.
It is what it is. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. 49ers are obviously the better team, and I think this is going to be one of the games where it kicks the Commanders out of the playoffs.
Yes.
Or this is the start of it. 49ers are obviously the better team in every aspect. Why do you have Dallas? I knew you fucking picked Dallas when I picked the Eagles.
Yeah, you looked at it. Why are you acting surprised right now? You knew.
I actually didn't look at it because I couldn't figure it out.
What?
Like, I couldn't figure out how to look at it.
But you did. You revealed it. I remember seeing you revealing it.
So, like, that's how you review it. See, I didn't. Okay.
You're a weird guy.
Yeah.
But Dallas will beat the Philadelphia Eagles because I don't believe in Minshew mania. Nor should I. Why would I? Caleb, when you got the Cowboys defense ready to go. Man, imagine they lose to back-to-back Jaguars quarterbacks. That'd be crazy.
But, like, I feel like, I don't know, Minshew mania is still pretty good because...
Why?
Because I think in his height of his career, he was a fringe starter.
Amazing. Great start, Caleb.
And 2, Dallas has been preparing for Hurts all year. So they're expecting Hurts to play.
I don't think that's true, actually.
3. 3. It's going to be the backup effect because this is his first game playing this year. And it's not like a Cooper Rush thing where, you know, Cooper Rush is expected to, you know, play for a few weeks because Dak has been, like, injured for a few weeks. So, like, teams kind of, like, have a better idea. But I feel like since this is Minshew's, like, first game, Dallas has been, I don't know, preparing for Hurts. And I feel like it's kind of hard for a team to kind of switch that.
When? When have they been preparing for Hurts?
All season, baby.
All season? You don't just prepare for one quarterback all season. That's not how it works. It's week by week.
All season, baby.
You're lying.
Yeah.
You know that's not how it works.
Yeah, I know how. I know that's not how it works. I don't know why I can't talk. But I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be the backup effect where surprisingly somehow he does like a miracle work. I'm almost tempted to pick him up in fantasy. Just that's how confident I am.
You know what? Do it. I won't challenge you anymore. I'm just going to support you, and then when you're wrong, I'll be like, oh man, who would have thought?
Wow. Thank you. That's a good friendship mentality.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
Yeah, and that's why I agree. So we can move on, right?
Yeah. Fuck Dallas. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. These are two 6-8 teams in which I just flipped a coin and it landed on Josh Jacobs.
Crazy how we both landed on Josh Jacobs.
That is pretty crazy.
What was the other side of the coin in this hypothetical player?
Najee Harris.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, Najee Harris is one of my favorite Alabama players ever.
Ever. All time. That means all time.
I'm serious.
He is serious. I vouch.
I'm not joking.
He is not joking.
I'm not being a silly little guy.
He's not being a silly little guy.
I'm a serious big boy.
Big boy.
Najee Harris Love that man, but he's not giving any favors. You know who is getting favors?
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, because
JJ.
you know why he wasn't doing this in years past?
Why?
Because he spreads the field with Devontae Adams going miles that way. So when Josh Jacobs gets the ball over here, everyone's like, oh, fuck, Devontae Adams is over there already. Josh Jacobs goes the other way. You can't really do that with Hunter Renfrow. And as good as, like, Waller is, I don't even think he has that effect with defenses. It's really, like, just a Devontae Adams thing. Because he's that elite. And so I think the mix of the run and pass is so good with the Raiders. And I'm glad they're really figuring it out. If only their defense was consistent, then... I mean, it's not over for them. I still think they can make the playoffs. But it's going to be very hard. But at the same time, when Jacobs is moving like this, it's hard to bet against him.
Ain't no way it's going to be stopped.
So, and I don't think Pittsburgh really has the defensive answer that they usually have or have had in the past. I think their defense has looked pretty whatever. Give me Raiders all day, baby.
I agree. Miami Dolphins versus Green Bay Packers. I got Miami Dolphins. I think they're fighting for the urge. They're fighting for the urge, or not urge. The verge. They're fighting for the verge. They're on the verge.
Ah, there we are.
Of the playoffs.
Yeah, wild card spot.
In which they're fighting for feverishly. Because they started off the season really good, and they're not ending the season that greatly. But I feel like they have some vengeance in them, and I think this is going to be a perfect game for Tua to kind of gain back his confidence, because he has not been looking good the past 3 or 4 games. And I think this is a great game for him to try kind of just bring back his confidence. And I think, that's all I'm going to say.
Are you done?
Yeah. That's why I said, that's all I got to say. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is going to get 5,000 points for fantasy and win me my fantasy league.
Mine too. Oh, please. I'm begging you. Rams, Denver.
I got Denver.
Me too, actually.
Wow, that's back-to-back weeks.
Nah.
Oh, fuck. You checked me.
I'm not taking Broncos back-to-back weeks.
Naughty boy.
Nah, fuck, nah. I don't care if it's like Baker Mayfield and all that. I do not have the faith in the Broncos. I'm sorry, Trey. Trey's right there.
Fuck you, Trey.
Whoa, wow, okay.
Fuck the Broncos. No, he didn't respond. So he is non-existent. He's a figment of our imagination. I just CGI him in every week if he makes an appearance. You can speak now.
Rams will win
by how many points?
With 5 field goals.
Yeah, 5 field goals. No touchdowns, or just like 5 total field goals?
5 total field goals. Maybe they'll get a touchdown, but if they do, it'll be defensively. That's what I'll say.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers first.
Wait, before we move on.
No. Tampa Bay Buccaneers
Before we move on.
No.
Before we move on, I am concerned about the fact that I haven't really heard somebody's name in a very long time.
A-Rod?
Aaron Donald. Whatever happened to him?
Did he get injured? I have not heard about him.
Right? Like, I don't hear about him anymore. Like, he made the Pro Bowl. But I don't hear anything about him. He's had 5 sacks this season.
That's probably why. That's a low for him.
It is.
I have to pee.
So why did he make the Pro Bowl? And not just make it, but he was one of the first people, like, highest votes.
Pro Bowl is just namesake.
Yeah.
It's a popularity contest. It's up to the fans to vote him in. So it's
only half of the fans though. Half of the points come from the fans. Half of the points come from the players that play him.
I don't know, and I don't understand because they're 4-10. I think Aaron Rodgers is such a fucking stud that he just is in every single year, no matter what, no matter how badly their team is playing.
Yeah, I guess he's on pace for his career low. Wow.
Because his team sucks. How many sacks did he have last year?
12.5.
Oof. He sucks.
This year was crazy, by the way.
That is crazy. Holy shit, 20.5.
And then 25 tackles for a loss as well.
That's insane. Let's move on. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Arizona Cardinals. I got Bucks. I'm wanting to say, I forgot to do some predictions. I'm wanting to say Buccaneers, Tom Brady is going to get 3 touchdowns in this game. That's what I'm wanting to say. Tom Brady, 3 TDs. That's such a basic.
Yeah, that's not really a big, like, hot take, which is what we usually do.
Yeah, but, I'm wanting to say Gardner.
Minshew
is going to get 6 TDs. Six passing.
He's more likely to get 6 turnovers than 6 touchdowns.
That's why it's a hot take.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It is hot.
And sexy. Why do you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Because Cardinals
Suck.
are tanking. I don't see why they would want to win at this point in time, knowing that, first of all, division's way out of reach. Wild card spot, also very hard to get. They're 4-10, so actually, now that I think about it, I don't even think it's in reach at all.
I think they're the first team that got eliminated, or one of the first teams. Like, they're eliminated from the playoffs right now.
Damn. Okay. The other things that I was going to say that apply better is that when you're without Kyler Murray in a season that there's already, like, drama surrounding Kyler Murray, it starts to make you think, okay, we're 4-10. We currently hold the 5th pick. Kyler Murray might be out even next year, like into next year. Maybe not the whole year, but just games of next year. We have the 5th pick as of now, and we're not going to be with our starting quarterback, so we're probably going to lose even more. Maybe even get all the way up to 3. Would it be stupid of us to maybe make a little trade happen and then also take someone with his 3rd spot that is, I don't know, say Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, or even, may I say, Anthony Richardson, who I'm a fan of, but probably won't be taking that early.
Here's Anthony Richardson.
He's on Florida. He hasn't had a lot of experience, but he has the best physical traits out of any of the quarterbacks. Or at least that's what most people believe, since Bryce Young is a small boy. Like Jalen Hurts.
Makes sense.
Yeah. We can move on, though. All I'm saying is Cardinals don't want to win this game. I don't know why they would. Maybe mentality. I don't know. They are on Hard Knocks, so all of their failures are revealed on national television, not just during games, but guaranteed once a week, even when they're not playing primetime. So crazy. Let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts getting a home game, nationally televised, prime time, just like Jim Irsay wanted all along. Now, is this the way he wanted it? No, by no means. But at the same time, he was the one to make the call to fire everyone and bring in Jeff Saturday, who is responsible for the biggest comeback in NFL history, except on the wrong side of it. So
yeah. Wait, I forgot. Did they fire the GM?
No.
Not yet.
Well, here's the thing. Jim Irsay has been very vocal about not firing him at all. And Jim Irsay is not the guy to make those promises without actually following through on it. Like, he's a pretty blunt person, or he just won't say anything at all. But he's been very vocal about just not firing him. So I'm convinced he won't get fired, but it could come down to Chris Ballard leaving. Because if I was a GM in the Indianapolis Colts organization at this current moment, I'd be like, there might be better options out there.
I agree. Ballard? I agree. Ballard should leave. Another dispute. I had the Chargers. Titus got the Colts. Why do you got the Colts?
Because I want them to lose. And what I've noticed, and since this is the 4th consecutive primetime or nationally televised game that they've had, you know who I've taken every one of those weeks? The Colts. And you know what happened every single week? They lost. So I'm hoping they lose. That's right. I hope I go down 9 to you. Because as much as I want to beat you in this little prediction game we have, what I want even more is Bryce Young or just anyone. Just give me any of those good quarterbacks except Will Levis. Fuck that guy.
Yes. I got the Chargers because the Chargers are red hot now. And they're going to go 9-6. Red hot. Yes.
So my actual prediction is actually the Chargers, but for the sakes and purposes of this, I will put down IND, and my comments will be Nick Foles
5 touchdowns. Wait, is he actually playing?
will play. That's my
Yeah.
prediction. Is
Nice.
that maybe he won't start, but he will play. Because I don't know when you release this, but maybe he gets announced in the future.
Ooh.
But as of right now, we don't know because Jeff Saturday said, I haven't really looked at it, but for right now, leaning Matt Ryan, but it's not confirmed.
As of Tuesday, December 20th at 8:21.
Yeah, let's search his name, Matt Ryan.
Hopefully, this gets up on Thursday at 5:30 a.m. Anything about Maddie?
So 7 hours ago, Kevin Bowen, shout outs, reported that Parks Frazier, who is the play caller, is saying that he's game planning as if Matt Ryan will be the starting quarterback, but that doesn't sound like confidence at all within the coaching staff that he will be. But also sounds like just confusion. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's all we got to say. Do you want to say anything about fantasy before we wrap this up?
No, nothing significant happened in fantasy at all. So
He lost.
I didn't lose.
He lost
It's
the first round.
a 2 week matchup.
lost the
That's how
first
we do
round.
it in fantasy.
He lost the first round.
It's not the first round. It's the first week. Rounds are different.
I don't know why I made that sound. It's the first week, round 1 of the first round 1.
First week, round 1 of the first round 1.
But I also lost, but I only got 15 points to come back from. Titus got 30 something. But hopefully I can come back. And that was all I got to say about fantasy because I have to pee. And if I don't pee in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to pee my pants. I'm going to blame Titus.
Caleb and I will have the greatest third place matchup in fantasy history, and you will all be witnesses.
I agree. Unless if we both make a comeback somehow. All right. Bye.
Are you ready to end?
Yeah, bye.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Should I end it right now?
Yeah, I'm closing my laptop.
All right.
Bye.
I'll end it right now.
Bye.
Cool.